Welcome back to another episode of Cape Ann Today with Ethan Forman from the Gloucester Times. Hi, Ethan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I participated in the Pan Mass Challenge this weekend for the Jimmy Fund.
Good
Did
job.
50 miles in the heat. I signed up for 100, did 50. Discretion is the better part of valor, and I'm raising money for a good cause.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of friends. Yeah, my brother had cancer this year, so
Oh,
yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good, but a lot of people, any way you can help out. If you know a rider, a lot of people know riders in the PMC. It's very popular. Pan Mass Challenge.
have you done it
Support them.
before? Have you done it before?
This is my 19th year.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
19th year participating. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. And
Thank
good
you.
luck to your brother. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's doing good.
Oh, good, good. Well, you've also been busy all around Gloucester this week. Let's start with the fire update. How's Poles? What's going on at Poles Hill these days?
Well, it's interesting because we had some rain and it looked like maybe the fire, there was no more fire activity, but unfortunately, they keep having these flare-ups. So they're still going out there and walking the perimeter of the fire to make sure that it doesn't, catch on. And yeah, it's one of those things that perhaps may not be out till the winter, fully out. It might be something that they have to continually monitor and check on. And I spoke to one resident yesterday. She didn't want to talk on the record, but house was really smoky and they have to have their house cleaned. The impact on the neighborhood has been huge.
Wow.
But it also has been a good thing. The neighbors rallied around the fire department, let them come in and use their bathrooms and giving them water and stuff. So it's in some ways the communities come together, but it's something that might not be out.
It's got to be stressful, just really stressful to live. I mean, I live behind or in front of the Woodland Acre fire, and I can smell it a lot, and it feels stressful.
Yeah, and I talked to Mike Fiera, the forest fire warden in Rockport.
Yeah,
Mike Frontiero.
Yeah,
and he said to me yesterday, "Oh, might be the first time since July 25th we don't go up there." And lo and behold, Andrea heard on the scanner, my editor, late in the afternoon.
Yeah, because around dinner time last night, it was really strong, or actually maybe more like bedtime. I actually checked my house to make sure there wasn't a fire in my house.
So that's the impact. So you're getting a direct impact from this.
Yeah. No, it's really strong. So, but you also wrote that the city council is inviting the Gloucester City Council is inviting the chief of the fire department and Bob Rivas, I think, to.
Yeah, the assistant fire chief.
Yeah.
Robert Rivas, who has been, I've seen him out there, on the front lines, directing these operations. This is really something that he's taken, trying to really just taken handle on. And so they're going to be going, I think there was in response to residents' concerns about meeting with the fire department and what some of the impacts are. So they're going to come in officially, and hopefully by then on the 23rd, it won't be, so smoky anymore. But as you're saying, it's still there in Woodland Acres. They can't put that fire out. They don't have enough water in Rockport.
That's what's terrifying. Yeah, I know. So they're just waiting for rain and trying to maintain it.
Yeah. And unfortunately too, one of the ways to control these fires is setting more fires and kind of taking out the underbrush. But I don't think anybody would have an appetite for that. And it's so dry, you wouldn't want it to, get away.
Right.
In my opinion. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a happy story. Basketball hoops. Some kids are really happy about that, right?
Yeah. In Gloucester, my colleague, Mike Cronin, picked up a story on a neighbor who noticed that perhaps the kids weren't occupying themselves in the most constructive way, with cars getting perhaps, I don't know if it was the kids, but they see scratches on the cars, which might be from from pellet guns.
Oh,
And I mean, who knows? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying these kids, but maybe they got what can they need? They found out what they need. And they know basketball hoop. But
So,
he could. So this a neighbor, Robert Moore, who's neighbor to Wildwood Gardens
yeah.
in Gloucester,
Uh-huh.
and
So he funded the basketball hoop, right?
yeah, went to just went to the store and bought one.
Oh,
Couldn't put it together because
they're
went to
hard.
Dick's. You want to go to Dick's Sporting Goods? I'm going to do a great thing, but then you got to build it, and that's where the Gloucester Police Department came in.
Oh,
They have a program, Cops and Kids, which I guess before the pandemic was very active in meeting kids and trying to build relationships in the community. The pandemic kind of slowed things down. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get this officer's name right. Michael Simska, I think his name is, helped put the hoop together. He'd been part of Cops and Kids, but they had a sort of curtail a little bit. The Cops and Kids program is part of the Gloucester Police Department's Community Impact Unit, which is a relatively new unit that aims to help those who are homeless, build community relationships, is running a program to teach people to be recovery coaches. It's part of its effort, which is, I think, their application. If you want to be a recovery coach, go to the Community Impact Unit's Facebook page.
yeah, they're doing all kinds of really interesting things with kids too, like their video game program. They play
The SRO, as was SRO gaming, came because they couldn't meet the kids,
yeah,
and now so they can meet them online.
yeah, yeah. No,
And then we had the Youth Anglers program, which I think we talked about last week, and their cookout is coming up, which I hope to attend.
yeah.
They're going to give prizes for the largest fish caught over. They had about 150 people on the boats, on the police boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he volunteered to set this thing up. It was a bigger job than he thought. It took him like 3 hours, and he his wife and kids. But you can just, if you see in our paper today,
Oh,
that's, I mean, like, that says it all, right?
yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah, summer basketball is just a great way basketball all year long is a great way to engage kids.
Like you're bored. You don't need much, just a basketball and the hoop. So hats off to Mike Cronin for picking up that story.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. So, and then we had a visit from our congressman to town. Do you want to tell us about that, Seth?
Yeah, well, it wasn't just one visit; it was 2 visits.
Yeah, right.
He kept me busy.
Yeah, he did. You were telling him all over the place. So
Yeah.
where did he go? Where did Seth Moulton go?
First, he went to the Open Door on Emerson Ave. They're I don't know if we've talked about this, but they're expanding their food pantry with a $29,4.4 million expansion, and they got a federal grant to help them out. But this wasn't just money for the federal grant. You also had money for the North Shore Hunger Network. Unfortunately, we have to have a North Shore Hunger Network. The Accord, a food pantry in Hamilton, Beverly Bootstraps, Salem Pantry, and I'm gonna get them. I was one up in Amesbury, my neighbor's table. I'm sorry if I don't get it right, but this network is getting is part of that federal grant, about $768,000, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
That came from a community funding project appropriation from Congress that Moulton got. That's hard. It's a hard thing to get money for local programs from Congress, and he was able to score that. And he went in and he met with the leaders of the food pantries, the regional food pantries, and their efforts to expand the network. And this money.
According to your article, this has been a really difficult year for families trying to.
With inflation, they're seeing. Somebody told me that they're seeing numbers that they saw during the pandemic because of inflation, food inflation.
Right.
So we've come through the pandemic and we thought, okay, everything's going to get better, but now the price of food has gone sky high, and the price of everything has gone sky high. Gas
is down though.
Gas is down. That's definitely true. But I guess at the time, they're telling me they're seeing big increases, and they're fielding increases in food prices. So if you got food prices going up, if the price of eggs double,
Mhm.
they're going to feel it as well. So
So, but out of that $768,000, 200,000 will go to the open door specifically for their.
yeah,
new
for their expansion, the new commercial double line commercial kitchen and meeting area. They can better help clients. I think it's like a new front entrance for them.
Yeah.
And it's a great project. We've written about it before. I wrote about the groundbreaking,
Mhm.
and then so yeah, Moulton was there and got to see the site. It's not much to it yet, but it will be.
Yeah, yeah. So did it feel significant, like someone, Washington has come to Gloucester? Did it feel
No,
momentous?
I mean, if you've known the congressman over the years, he's a pretty laid back guy, and
Yeah.
he just wants to get things done.
And he also went to visit the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah, the wastewater treatment plant.
So,
Couldn't you have taken him to the Gloucester house and shown him a picture of it?
yeah. No,
It's
it was a little stinky that day.
you know, it's a wastewater. I have toured wastewater. I can't tell you, as a reporter for like 26 years, I have
Yeah.
been in wastewater. It's not pleasant,
Well, you
It's,
know what? It's real and it has to be taken care of. So it was a good thing he went to visit, I think.
this is a critical project,
Yeah.
not only for Gloucester, but it could be for Cape Ann, because now we're not only talking about an $80 to $100 million project to upgrade the wastewater treatment plant. They're also talking, and I've been talking for a while, in studying whether Rockport, Essex, and Manchester could become part of this facility,
Right.
because they have needs too. At Gloucester has a severe need because they've been under a federal waiver from the EPA. They only have a primary treatment plant.
Mm,
Basically, you're trying to make clearer water. You get the stuff out of the water,
right.
and it only goes about 60%, and the rest they send out a pipe a mile and a half out, which is fascinating,
ocean.
right?
Yeah.
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 So they have land right next to the plant that's always been designated for a secondary treatment plant. That'll provide a much more clear water that will go out into the ocean. So it'll cut pollution significantly if they are able to get this money for the secondary plant. And Mayor Berger was talking about how they want to use the city's $23 million ARPA funding. And he's saying they might use about 40% of that to, help offset the debt.
Still a long way to go. It's like,
it's a lot. It's going to be a long way to go,
yeah.
but there's a lot of momentum.
Mhm.
So they want to act fast to see if they can do this in a regional way so as not to hold up Gloucester.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, so I've been on more pleasant places. I've been with the congressman in other places in the world, and I was like, but yeah,
Well, it is an important one, that's for sure. Nobody wants to, I mean, who wants to spend $100 million on a wastewater treatment plant? But it's the most important piece of keeping the city together.
It
right?
is very important. And the other thing that they're going to be starting soon, I think it was back in 2018, there was flooding, and it was flooded. The campus flooded.
Mm.
And that's a serious thing. The workers can't leave, and then what washes out, right?
So they still have to build that berm
And
around.
so that is in that's in the
Yeah.
bidding. There, the bid documents. It's they got a $3 million Economic Development Administration grant, federal grant. That's to pay for a bulk of this berm project.
Yeah.
That's going to go a few feet and make a few feet high and make the plant more resilient.
And
it's critical. That's
Yeah.
critical too.
right.
You don't want to build a secondary treatment plant, spend $80 million and have it be flooded.
Yeah. So this berm will not be made obsolete by a secondary treatment plant. This is
No, it's going to go around the site. It'll be around the
okay.
entire site of the
whole
campus.
site. I see. Okay.
It's like if you go out there, there's a field. This was all marshland. They had to bring in soil, compress it, pack it down.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because one of the people who is closest or has property closest to the plant is Senator Tarr. In fact, he told me something interesting. He said his family, the land was taken from his family by eminent domain by the city to build the treatment plant.
Yeah.
So he knows that plant, very well, and its needs. I know there's been odor control issues. They've covered a lot of the operations, these tanks. But it's it's critical infrastructure for the city, critical. So,
Right.
hats off to Moulton. It's still in progress in Congress, $2 million,
Yeah.
but that will go a long way to help them study and permit and evaluate. And then the state's also, Bruce Tarr said they're also kicking in $175,000 for the permitting, just for the permitting alone.
Wow. So what bill is it attached to in Congress?
Well, these are appropriations,
Okay.
appropriations. I think it's, again, the community project funding,
Okay.
and they go through the appropriations process. The subcommittees it's passed the appropriations committee. The bill's passed, and now it's going to go to the House. Then there's a bill in the Senate. Then they try to work it out.
Okay. So it's not secured yet.
The money is, yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's not controversial, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, let's move on to one last interesting, fun subject, and that is the fact that the Wicked Tuna guys are going into the fish business, right?
Well, it's the Wicked Tuna guy,
Right.
Captain
Yeah.
Dave Marciano,
Yeah.
who's Angelica Fisheries does. You can can go along and try to catch a giant tuna if you want. But we sat down with him and Monty Rome, the general manager of Intershell and owner, up in Blackburn Drive, and his daughter Rose, along with Dave's wife Nancy and his sister Christine, and talked about this new venture called Angelica Seafoods. Now, Angelica is Dave Marciano's daughter. It's the name of his daughter. So it's just like when they incorporated their fishing vessel, they said, "What do you want to name the company?" And Angelica. So that's where that name comes from. But they're hoping to bring, he's a Wicked Tuna guy. He always gets asked, where can I get the tuna? Now you can get Gloucester tuna. They're trying to
all around the world. They're shipping it around the world.
They're
right?
shipping it to you, right? It's direct.
Yeah.
You're not going to the wholesale. You're not going to the supermarket. Where does your fish come from? Sometimes, it says sockeye salmon. You go to Costco, it's Alaska sockeye salmon. It comes from there. But most of the time, seafood is kind of a blind item. You don't know where it's coming from. And now it'll be sort of branded. It's not just Gloucester. It'll be, New England. But he's aiming to get U.S. product fresh to your door. And Monty's got the processing plant, so the partnership makes sense, right? Dave's not building a processing plant. He doesn't have to. Seafood processing plant. And those guys, they're all going in together. And his sister has an MBA, worked in the insurance agency for many years, actually worked at Gorton's coming out of college. She's a business professional. She's been running his t-shirt business, Captain Dave's t-shirt business. So they're going to have a meet and greet on Monday, August 29th, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Gloucester House restaurant on Roger Street, and meet Captain Dave. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of exciting. So these tuna will be caught by other boats except beyond his own boat, right?
Yeah, the idea is that you're branding Gloucester seafood in some ways. Right. And and then what they're hoping to do is, sort of the price of tuna is a little depressed, it's seasonal. So they start selling it out the door. If the price goes up, becomes in demand, everybody benefits. Everybody benefits. And in interesting tuna, they're doing other seafood as well. They've got a clam chowder kit. So I mean, the clammers, everyone benefits. Hopefully, it creates demand. It's a way to create demand. They already know that people are going to buy this stuff. Fans of the show. What they need to do is they need to expand their audience, beyond that.
So is there going to be a retail presence in Gloucester, or is it's all shipped? Right?
Online.
Oh, all online.
Just go. I think they're opening up their pre-orders now.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it says you have a chance to pre-order some haddock fillets, scallop or clam pie. Pick up at $8.29 from the Gloucester House restaurant.
Oh.
So you can pre-order for the meet and greet.
Oh,
and for customers who make a pre-purchase, you get a coupon and pick up for 25% off tuna steaks when they become available. So
nice. So what's that website that people should be going to?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Just go to Facebook and look up Angelica Seafood.
Okay, all right, there we go. That's all we need. Yeah,
That's where you're going to get
okay.
it.
All right, so, and I understand that there may be a story about a taco truck coming up in our future, right?
Well, there's going to be a meeting next week, not a council meeting, about the taco truck in Plum Cove Beach. Some concern about its noise,
Mhm.
and maybe fumes, and residents, want to get some answers. So it's not a council meeting. There's no order before the council to move the truck. There's 6 fixed vendor spots around the city. I didn't know about that.
Mhm.
This is the first time it's ever been taken up at Plum Cove Beach.
Yeah, there's never been
So,
a food truck there before, right?
yeah, so it's a little bit of growing pains, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see where that turns out. I plan on going.
All right, well, we look forward to your story and to talking about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I hope you get a nice bike ride in this weekend.
Me too. Maybe I'll ride to Gloucester. Who knows?
Yeah.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.